Hey guys, hey, thanks for joining today. Hey, today is going to be part two of the three-part series that we have. And today I want to go into dark psychology. Yesterday we did the whole, shadow archetype, kind of video then. But today, I did that for a reason to lead into dark psychology. It's a topic a lot of people really don't know much about. Basically, psychology out of the 100% is 99.999, basic human behaviors, things that, all psychologists know. Dark psychology is that little 100th of a percent that is kind of considered like the black hole of psychology because not too much is known about it. But basically, I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to start and jump right in, okay? Behavior. What is behavior? Okay. Behavior is observable responses or acts or actions of someone that we can visually see and, determine a personality or, conscious reasons for these actions. There are two types of behaviors. There is adaptive behavior, which, how someone adapts to their environment in an effective, successful manner. And then there's also contingent behavior, which is something that, depends on the stimulus, a very specific stimulus of the environment. And a lot of times there are disorders, but primarily I'm talking about behavior disorders. And what a behavior disorder is it's a general concept of a behavioral abnormality that is functional in origin. So basically what I mean by that is even though it can be borderline, kind of odd or psychotic, it does help the individual. They're functioning with this abnormality, and that's kind of a little scary sometimes. But basically, a couple ways you can overcome this by, medical or psychiatric treatment. Two ways: behavior modification, which is, basically it's the correction of undesirable thoughts or, behaviors that we have, that sort of thing. And then there's also behavioral therapy, which focuses on the observable behaviors. And it's almost like a manipulation of, your environment and your thoughts and things like that. And it just more or less, it teaches you how to kind of, retrain your brain into thinking in a more healthy manner. Okay. But basically, a lot of people don't realize that psychology it's solely a human phenomenon. It is not shared by any other living creature. Okay. So basically a lot of true narcissists and predators will fall into dark psychology. But I just kind of wanted to give people, a little background on this, before I get into predatory nature, predatory behaviors, that sort of thing. But basically dark psychology, what it is it's a study of human conditions that are used from the psychological nature of these individuals that are used to intentionally prey upon others. So it's a little messed up, but basically dark psychology aims to seek and identify and understand, the thoughts and feelings and perceptions, that lead to this human predatory behavior, because it is something I think that, is pretty important. I certainly, don't want to walk around with a bunch of damn, Jeffrey Dahmers or, Ted Bundy's running up and down the street, but, it is an issue. So, but let's move forward. Okay. So basically what dark psychology is, as I said, the human prey is it's the brutal victimization of someone without purpose. Okay. Basically like the person's doing it just to do it. And that's messed up. Okay. But basically, as I was saying earlier, the predators also fall under this, and oftentimes they're, it's, violence, abuse, theft, sexual predators. We're talking emotional predators. I mean, it's a whole plethora of just different, types. But basically these type of people that fall in dark psychology, they are considered, criminal and deviant in behaviors. Okay. But basically this is also coupled with, abuse, victimization, assault, whether it be a mental assault or a physical assault. And a couple of the common driving forces, include, but are not limited to, deviant fantasies, desires for power, personal gain, peer acceptance, psychiatric illnesses too play a very large part, in this, and the messed up thing about this is that in dark psychology, especially you know, dealing with the true narcissist or, you know, the predators, there is not one profile. And that makes it hard to kind of, you know, pick them out, pinpoint them. They can be any gender, any race, any age, you know, but something to take heed of is that they are considered violently disturbed. You know, and that is a threat to humanity, that sort of thing. You know, and in a lot of this, you know, because they are violently disturbed, the main issue here is that it's a little disconcerting because they go undetected. Okay. You know, so I kind of want to get into that a little bit real quick. The dark continuum, it's basically just, you know, it's a malicious intent from others ranging from anywhere, you know, to psychopathic behaviors, intrusive, you know, thoughts or behaviors without any rationality. You know, I mean, they're just completely unfounded. It's, you know, a normal person would be like, what the hell? You know, but to these individuals, it makes sense. You know, so, but basically, you know, it's a region inside the human psyche that it enables people to commit these crimes. And, you know, these atrocities and things like that. That's a little disconcerting. And this, in and of itself, these acts, you know, in the psyche that enables this is called the dark singularity. Okay. But, you know, let's move forward. But here's something that is super important. I cannot stress this enough in dark psychology. Basically, it encompasses everything. Dark psychology encompasses everything that we as humans have in relation to our dark side, which is our shadow side. And we had talked about that yesterday. That's why I kind of did the background, you know, and that sort of thing. And also, I always love the analogy with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You know, the good and evil exists in us all, whichever we want to be most, we are. Okay. Basically, what makes dark psychology predators worse, you know, than any other type is that when these predators commit these crimes, whether it be, you know, physical or emotional, they do it just to do it. There's no purpose. There's no reason. There's no meaning, you know? And so, like I said, it's, you know, it's unfounded. But basically, we all have the potential to have predatory behaviors. But the difference between the normal, you know, individuals and the, you know, darker individuals, you know, the predators and things like that is we do not act on these thoughts. We may think them. And, you know, we might have, you know, different, you know, feelings about them and, you know, so on and so forth, but we do not act on them. The predators do. Okay, they do, and without cause. You know, the main difference between us is, you know, this acting, when a predator acts on, you know, these thoughts, these intrusive thoughts that they have, acting is a conscious behavior. Okay, so these individuals know right well what they're doing. And that's kind of a little scary. I always kind of compare it, you know, to, you know, man is the most dangerous game. Because, you know, I don't know if you've ever, you know, seen the movie or read the book. But basically, it's dangerous because they're hunting, but they're hunting human prey. So man is the most dangerous game. Man is hunting human prey. Like, that's a little kind of, you know, I'd be like, oh my God. So, but anyway, dark psychology, as I said, it's the big issue here is it's not the severity of these acts, of how heinous they are. The main issue in dark psychology is these actions that are performed by these individuals, especially, you know, the predators, is a driving force for revenge against humanity. And I cannot stress that enough. That is more important. We have to realize that that's more important here than how heinous the acts are, because anybody can commit, you know, a heinous act, but the plot against revenge against humanity, I mean, this is something these, you know, people can do over something so minute, so small. You know what I mean? Like, let's say, you know, they hit on a girl and, you know, she rejects them. Okay, well then, you know, with some of these, you know, abnormal individuals, they could go on, you know, and kind of like Bundy did, you know, with his ex-girlfriend, Stephanie Brooks. You know, he keeps killing the same type of women, the same profile, dark hair, long, parted in the middle kind of thing, you know, so every woman he killed was a reflection of the woman, Stephanie Brooks, who did him wrong. And this is how predators think. And it's really messed up because you would have no idea. You would have no idea at all. And that's scary. But basically, you know, events in one's life, you know, it increases probability to engage you know, in predatory behavior and that sort of thing. But basically, I just kind of want to go over just a couple more things real quick before I get into, you know, the predatory nature. You know, child abuse in the home tends to foster feelings later on in life. With these individuals, and a lot of them do become predators, but that is not to say that they are not, that they will be violent offenders. So that's also something to keep in mind too. But basically, as a person becomes discouraged in life, they become isolated, they become, you know, their social environment becomes fragmented and things become distorted. And, you know, it's kind of like yesterday with the whole shadow thing, you know, when we kind of get things mixed up and you know, because it's like our whole reality is crumbling. Okay, so, but, you know, let's move forward a little bit. And, a person, basically, predatory type behavior, the behaviors that these people emit and act on, it's almost, if not with some, it borders on a psychotic level. Okay, so that in and of itself is dangerous. Not only the fact that these are deviant behaviors and criminal behaviors, they are labeled violently, you know, criminal. They are violent. They are very, very callous in their actions, and the callousness stems from the complete lack of empathy for another human or another human's life, another person's feelings, another person's, you know, being. They just do not give a shit. Okay, and that's a little scary. You know, they tend to be, you know, especially psychopaths, they tend to be in denial, in neurotic denial of what they're doing, you know, and this is also a common trait too that is found in true narcissists. But basically, it's they will go on and they will praise themselves, and they're going to pride themselves on the fact that they are different from other people, but they're not. And that's actually it's a very huge delusion that, you know, the dark psychology portion, you know, of these, you know, predators are. But basically, it's just, the predators consider themselves extremely, and I can't stress that enough, extremely superior to others. Okay, they're up here and everybody else is way down here, kind of thing. But anyway, so I just want to go ahead and wrap this up and, you know, just kind of go over that a little bit with dark psychology. I just kind of felt like, you know, maybe we needed a little more background. So take that coupled in, you know, with, you know, our union, the shadow archetype yesterday. And so our next discussion, join me then, please, because this is going to be about predatory nature and predatory behaviors. And I think that that's something, you know, especially women, that, you know, we need to look into, because the problem, especially with predators, is that they go undetected. Okay. And really, I think we all kind of know some things to look for. You know, we just kind of, you know, turn a blind eye. So, but anyway, as always, thank you guys for joining, and join me again. We're going to have part 3 of our discussion, and we're going to go a little more in depth about predatory nature, predatory behaviors. So thank you guys for watching. And as always, I appreciate the support, and join me later for another discussion. Bye.